What if the earliest known mathematician could measure a pyramid's height without modern tools? Thales of Miletus, born around 624 BC and dying around 546 BC, is credited with using geometry to solve such practical problems, calculating the height of pyramids and the distance of ships from the shore. His daring application of abstract reasoning to real-world challenges set a precedent that would echo through centuries. How did this ancient mind turn simple observation into precise measurement? Beyond clever tricks, Thales is also hailed for pioneering deductive reasoning in geometry, deriving 4 corollaries to what later became known as Thales' theorem. This logical leap transformed geometry from a collection of empirical rules into a system where conclusions followed inevitably from premises. The method would become the backbone of mathematical proof. Yet, what next would push the Greeks toward a deeper, universal language of numbers? Enter Pythagoras of Samos, born around 582 BC and dying around 507 BC, who founded the Pythagorean school. Its doctrine proclaimed that mathematics ruled the universe, encapsulated in the motto "all is number." The Pythagoreans even coined the very term mathematics, marking the moment when the study of numbers became an end in itself rather than a mere tool. Could this philosophical shift have sparked the first formal proof of a famous theorem? Indeed, the Pythagoreans are credited with the first proof of the Pythagorean theorem, even though the statement itself had a long prehistory. Their work also uncovered the existence of irrational numbers, shattering the belief that all magnitudes could be expressed as ratios of integers. This revelation introduced a profound mystery into the heart of geometry. How would later scholars confront the challenge of measuring curved spaces? Centuries later, Euclid taught at Alexandria's museum and authored the Elements, a textbook that would dominate mathematical education for millennia. By arranging known results into a single, coherent logical framework, Euclid introduced rigor through the axiomatic method, creating the earliest example of the format still used today. The Elements remained familiar to every educated person in the West up to the mid-20th century. What new techniques would emerge from this foundation? Building on Euclid's groundwork, Archimedes applied the method of exhaustion to calculate areas and volumes of curvilinear figures, including the area under a parabola via an infinite series. He also used the same technique to approximate pi with unprecedented precision, achieving the inequality 3 plus 10^71 pi 3 plus 10/70. This relentless pursuit of exactness pushed the limits of what could be known without calculus. Would anyone ever surpass his pi approximation? While Archimedes refined measurement, Apollonius of Perga expanded geometry's horizons by advancing the study of conic sections. He introduced the terms parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola, words that survive in modern science. By classifying these curves, Apollonius provided a language that would later underpin planetary astronomy. How would this new vocabulary influence the search for prime numbers? Eratosthenes of Cyrene turned geometry toward number theory, devising the sieve of Eratosthenes to isolate prime numbers. This algorithmic approach marked a shift from purely spatial reasoning to systematic computation. Meanwhile, Hipparchus of Nicaea, considered the founder of trigonometry, compiled the first known trigonometric table and standardized the 360-degree circle. Together, they laid the groundwork for modern mathematical analysis. What would be the next leap in algebraic thought? Diophantus, often called the father of algebra, compiled the Arithmetica, a collection of 150 algebraic problems that explored indeterminate analysis. His work resonated through the ages, influencing later mathematicians such as Pierre de Fermat, whose famous margin note would spark the eventual proof of Fermat's last theorem. This chain of intellectual inheritance illustrates how ancient problem-solving can echo into modern breakthroughs. Could any later figure match the impact of these early innovators? The twilight of Greek mathematics arrived with Hypatia of Alexandria, the first recorded woman mathematician. She authored numerous works on applied mathematics, yet her life ended violently when a Christian mob stripped and executed her in Alexandria. This tragedy is often seen as marking the end of the classical era, a sentiment echoed by the closure of the Neoplatonic Academy by Emperor Justinian in 529 AD. Does the fall of these institutions signify a final curtain on ancient mathematical thought? Yet even as the classical flame dimmed, Byzantine architects Anthemius of Tralles and Isidore of Miletus applied mathematical principles to construct the Hagia Sophia, a marvel of engineering that still inspires awe. Their work demonstrates that mathematical innovation persisted, though the centers of discovery shifted elsewhere. As the ancient world gave way to new horizons, the legacy of those early thinkers endures in every measured stone and calculated curve.